And hello to all my Libra friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for September 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Libras a storyline spread, but this is not just any regular storyline spread. This is a love corner, a love reading, a love spread for my great Libras. They want to talk about the love corner, which is family, love, relationships, close friends, anybody close to your heart can come in on these love spreads. And the storyline format allows me to be very accurate because it casts a very wide net across the entire sign of Libra. We're going to be telling different stories for different Libras, going through different situations in their love corner. It's like a bunch of mini readings all in one. And although there may be multiple stories that do resonate with you, the whole goal is to find the story that is right for you, and that is what we're going to do here today. Spirit has asked that I conclude your reading at the end with a very interesting spread that I call Telling Time, an extra reading. And Telling Time answers the question, when? Well, in this case, when what? Well, we don't know yet. So Spirit is going to give us the question as well as the answer here today for your September. Usually it's something in the future. They're giving you basically a window of a date, an opportunity in the future that they want you to pay close attention to so you don't miss something very important for my Libras. We're going to conclude your reading with the Rune Stone, of course. Got some moon cycles to do for you, of course. Tell you about the brand new service in the shop. I got a list of so much new stuff, guys, that just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Rune Stone chemistry tracking. That's a new one. Chemistry tracking. We're going to be talking about what Libras are kicking good with, what signs you're vibing with, what signs you're not vibing with. Chemistry tracking there at your end of your reading, your extra spread, as well as one that I call homily, and that is just a little spiritual pep talk to get you through September with a little bit of perspective. So there we go. We're going to get started right now, guys. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. Now I'm going to bring you into my overhead view so you can watch. If you so choose, I have done a lot of work with the chapters in the YouTube bar that you've broken down there. You can see that it is broken into a bunch of chapters, and that is so you can skip ahead certain parts, certain things you don't like, certain things you want to see again, very, very easily to do so. So what I just did right here, Libra, are my ritual cuts, cutting each deck into thirds and then back together they go in a separate order. It satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It is the same procedure for personal private readings, so it's just like you're here with me now, and you are. So the storyline spread, any form of them, whether it's financial, health, work, any kind of storyline spread, even the regular one, they start with 5 cards. So these are your core 5 cards, arguably the most important. And we have all upside down inverted ones except for that last one. We're going to need to keep going. The inverts right now don't matter. They will, though, if they keep coming. I'm going to slide this over just a little bit because the camera is kind of angled that way. And we keep going. This deck is known for making very large storylines, and we might have to reach our peak. There's card 7. Here goes number 8. And our peak is at 10, and it looks like they went the full route with you guys here. So they went all 10 cards. Let me just make sure that was correct, and I didn't miscount and embarrass myself. I did not. Perfect. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inverted out of 10. Yes, 6 out of 10 is not enough to upright the whole group, or at least do a discard for it. So that's going to stay the same. Now I need to get the pairings together. Now this is very tough in this deck. Got these two for sure going that way, that way, that way. So this is going to be one big story right here, completely inverted. We're going to see if Spirit wants to keep it that way or not momentarily. This is one big long line, remember. So I'm going to do it like that, hopefully to get it in camera. So the rest of these pairings, this is going to be separate there. So this is going to be together in one story, and this as well. So we got 3 different stories for you guys about equal length from each other, just like that. And now going to get some extra cards before I decide on the inverts to see if that's a big deal or not. Now, these are all pip cards, interestingly enough. All 4 of them are minor cards. So each 2, I'm going to kind of put 1 between each 2 just to give us a little bit of extra information. And look at that. Also came inverted. So did that one. Wow. And they're both kings. So, since they're people cards, I do need to do an extra discard. It's not going to stay on the table, but it is going to tell me if we're using the energetic definition or using the person, the court card. It's an actual person of the king. First one was a no. Second one, also a no. So we're using full energy definitions there, completely blocked still. Coming over here, if you can see it, hopefully you can. We got a major arcana card in the Hermit. That's going to draw 2 cards to describe him. That's a pip, stays the same. And then here we got a king that we need to check just like before, and they say no. Now that king, I'm going to leave the extra card in the spread just to give us a little information on that story. So now we come down here, guys. Our very final story. We just need to check on this queen to see if it's a person. They say no. Now that is also going to stay in the spread just to make that story a little bit more detailed, and we're ready to get the angel cards. This one, you would not be surprised that one is also inverted over here. That one's inverted as well. I'm going to move the camera around so you guys can see everything because I know that this is going to probably be off screen. So check the inverts now. Over here we got an entire story almost completely upside down too. So we're going to do a discard here first. Spirit wants to upright the entire thing, guys. The order has to stay the same in tarot. It is very important that you do that. Otherwise you start messing and mucking some stuff up. So now that story is done and it's completely upright, seeing it nice and clearly. There we go. Now down here, we're good to go just the way it is. That one doesn't get red inverted. So that story is done. And then over here, we need to do a discard as well. Spirit wants to leave that one the way that it is. So we are completely blocked out of the first story. And the way I'm going to read these, I'm going to show you. That one doesn't get read upside down. The other tarot cards do, though. So here we go. This is going to be your story one, the completely blocked out story. Take back your power. Story two, I'm going to go to the littler one with story two. It's going to be this one in front of me here. Just got dim. I'm not sure why. There we go. Hopefully you can see that nice and good. And then three, which we're going to conclude with, is probably the big, long, really long story. Going horizontally across most of my table. All right, Libra, let's get to work. We've chit-chatted enough about these pictures. Let's get to it. Let's decipher what they got for you. All right, story one. Keep in mind this is a love spread, love spread, love spread. Close to your heart. The connection card that they are bringing up first to see if this is your story or not. Well, they bring in unlocalized energy here. So they want you to look bigger picture on something here. This is something that they want you to expand your horizons on. This is going to be a hard one to attach to, so you're going to probably have to keep listening to me. But let me get through this first card first. This is a bigger perspective card on love. Something that they are saying you got to look beyond your local bubble. You got to go beyond it. The ways that you're kind of approaching love maybe need to change. Maybe you're a little bit confined yourself here. Some of you, they're actually bringing up are confined at work. It's just like these are the only people you meet, and it's just not working out so well. Maybe the people you work with, there's just nobody good for you. Maybe it's a small company and it's very few people to choose from. But that is a big deal for a lot of people. A lot of people do meet their significant other at the workplace because that is where you spend a lot of time. You get to know people and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't put the energy and effort into meeting people elsewhere. So that was one of the first things, but I know it's hard to attach to. So let me keep going. If you're basically, they're reinforcing this whole work thing by saying, I have my king on an invert. So basically saying there's no authority here with work. It makes me feel like you think that there's just nothing for you here. There's no suitors here. There's nothing here for your love corner. So forget about it. That's the kind of energy they're talking about here. Next, we have the 10 of Cups. It is on an invert. So they're saying here that it is a joyous card, but it's on a block. So that joy is just not hitting you full stream the way it should be. This should feel a little bit more happy than it does. Your heart should feel more full than it does. Maybe you got really great friends. Maybe you got a really great family. Okay, so maybe the fact that I'm feeling like this is some of my singles, at least we still have 2 more stories to go, but this is a story that is more kind of bound for my singles, at least off the bat. So it should feel better than what it is. So just, I would kind of lean that way. Lean toward your friends, lean toward your family, lean toward your strengths on everything. Fake it till you make it. You know what I mean? Next thing we show here is that there is probably the timing is not good either, because they show that you're really trying to balance 2 major areas of your life. One of this is obviously your love corner or your family, your dynamics of what's going on there. And the other one for a lot of people is work. And, you spend a lot of time at work. It adjusts your family. You spend too much time with your family. It takes it out of work. But this can be other corners too. This can be a health corner deal. If you got something major going on for health, let's say you're a gym rat. You're in the gym all the time. Well, that's going to take time away from these other corners too. And financial can be a part of this too. So anyway, you're trying to balance these 2 areas of your life. Which 2 they are for you is going to be specific to you. Of course, this is a general reading. And we have a lot of great Libras tuning in. I love you guys. But at the same time, nothing beats a personal private reading. It beats the bubble energy out of Libra. It looks at energy just for you. I offer a wide variety of those personal private readings on my website, scottsagent.com. A wide variety too, from small all the way up to full service, a little something for everybody there. And I would definitely encourage you check that out, especially if you want more detail on something that we're talking about here and we just didn't go deep enough in it. It's because the Libra bubble energy, guys. All your great Libra friends that are here with you. Now, the next thing they show is that there's really a lack of authority here. So it's basically kind of repeating what we said earlier, except now they're saying you say no to just work. It's just not going to be a work thing. I'm not getting with anybody in the workplace. Okay, but they're also saying here that this is not on board either. You're just kind of like, maybe you're just like, hey, you know what? This is just not my time. I'm going to bide my time until later. I'm going to accomplish these goals first. Maybe something else with work first before I do this. So it's basically saying you haven't made up your mind up here to do that. Okay, so because that hasn't been made up and there's lack of authority there, of course, everything else is going to kind of be, the dominoes are going to fall too that way. And they show here that there is just small setbacks here. So whether it was a small setback that you encountered yourself, maybe you went on a bad date, you got with somebody who is just no good for you, and it left a bad taste in your mouth. Maybe that's part of it. Or it's saying small failure. That's Spirit's point of view, of course. Maybe to you this felt like a large failure, but Spirit's saying, no, this is just a small little failure, small little setback. You don't want to let it deter you from the prize, from the goal. So just, something to consider there. And we end with Take Back Your Power. This is your Angel Oracle card, and a pretty strong one too, because Take Back Your Power kind of infers that you gave it away a little bit here, and you need to take it back. Okay, so in the card specifically, it says, use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings into your life. So of course, blessings, that's a vague term, but if you're trying to attract somebody into your life, these are the things to consider. This is the stuff you need to work on and kind of get right up here for sure, even if it has nothing to do with the workplace, right? So take back your power. That's a very strong one too, because they're saying by bringing that up, Spirit thinks you can and you should. So there we go. Story 2, guys. Story 2, Libra. Hard to follow that act. That was a good one. Story 2 talks about learning lessons, guys. A lot of my Libras here in the love corner are learning lessons, learning from the things that you've been through that are cyclical, that are repetitive, that you've done before. Here they come again. If that feels like you right now, as we're pulling out of August, getting into September, if that feels like you just have to pass the test of the universe yet again in your love corner with your family, with dating, with whatever is close to your heart here that's pulling up, this could be your story. Story 2. Story 2. Learning lessons. Okay, they show that, you guys are struggling with this, but you're still moving forward. Good, Libra. Like to see it. The next thing they show here is nurturing of the health, nurturing of the finances. A lot of you are taking great pride in this, probably toward the family unit too. It's a carryover, and they show what is happening here is that you're nurturing it, but it's slowing down, and that may be why you're nurturing it. So for example, if the finances have slowed down to a crawl, that would be why you're kind of being smart with your finances. It would be maybe why you're being smart with your health, maybe eating a certain way because things are slowing down. Okay, and the Pentacles suit can mean health or finances. So that's why I try to give it to you both ways in a general reading. So they can be talking about nurturing health here or nurturing finances. And they bring up slow right now. Slow is September. Now, how long does the slow last for? Is it something slow with the family, or is it specifically talking about slow with the health or slow with the money? The next thing might give us a better clue here of what's going on, because we have the Six of Cups. And for a lot of people, this is sibling love. This is more like close family members that are close to your heart. So I don't feel like they're talking so much about love pursuits here. I think they're more talking about your group, your tribe, your close family and friends. So what they bring up last is our angel card, Crystal Clear Intentions. It is Archangel Michael, the big one of only 2 named angels in the Bible. And in this card it says specifically, be clear about what you desire and then focus upon it with unwavering faith. That F word, faith. So picture it in your mind. You got to visualize it first, and then start kind of focusing on what that is. Focus. Meditate on it, pray on it, and then you're going to start kind of producing it. It magically appear out of nowhere. It might take some time to arrive, maybe longer than you want it to, but here it comes, crystal clear intentions. And if you're not clear about what it is you want, How do you expect Spirit to give it to you? How do you expect the angels to line up, divine things so that you'll encounter this either great person or have this great family and all these goals that are in that love corner, right? So before I get into story number 3, which is the big, very big, long one for you guys here, I do want to break away for your moon cycles. I'm just kind of peeking up here. They didn't really talk about anything specifically there or here specifically. So I would say that the moon field is wide open for my Libra. So it's really about what you're trying to do with your September. Are you trying to bring something new in? That would be new moon. You're trying to bring something out and get rid of something. That would be full moon. So now you know what to pay attention to while we cut out here. We're going to come right back with story 3. Okay, guys, it is moon cycle forecast time, and the moons for September are starting to calm down. September, October, through the rest of 2023, the moon cycles are a little bit more solemn. However, you can still use this energy, the full and the new moon, to implement positive change into your life, because after all, the moon does have a gravitational lock on this planet of ours, and it's strong enough to pull the water of Earth towards space. The water bulges, and that's what the tides do, moving in and out. And after all, aren't we mostly water as well? You think it has an effect on us? Absolutely it does. So here's what's going on. Linear speaking, the first thing that hits as we enter September, we're still dealing with full moon energy from August. Now, this is the best time to get stuff out of your life. I want to focus more on the full moon later in the month, but as we enter the month early, that's when most people are checking out these videos. So I'm letting you know that right now, it's a good time to break habits, a good time to get stuff out of your life. People wrap up projects, anything that's got to go. That is the energy of the full moon here early in September. Now, I want to focus on the new moon, because new moon September 14th, this is going to be significant just because I got something special to share about the new moon. I stumbled upon this a few months ago, and I was waiting for the right time to do it. And this is the moon cycle where I'm going to share it. This is from a very gnostic text. I forget which one it was. It might have been the book of Adam and Eve, one of these books that was held back from the Bible, from the Pope. And very interesting things, because all these events happen during the new moon. This goes back to the flood story, which is not just in biblical texts, but it's in a bunch of different religious texts. New moon, that was when Noah was commanded to make the ark. Happened on a new moon. And he entered into the ark, also on a new moon. New moon is when the water stopped. Of course, these are not sequential new moons. It's not just one after another, but these events happened under a new moon. Here's another one. The tops of the mountains were first seen under a new moon. The earth, like the bottom, the lower levels of the earth, became visible from the floods going down under a new moon. And finally, Noah went forth from the ark under, you guessed it, a new moon. So you think new moon's relevant? Or what else are they trying to tell us in that book? I would say it's quite important. So the new moon, best time to bring things into your life. Start something new. Start a new diet. Go for a new job. Try to get something new going in the work corner. Something new in the love corner. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying to implement into your life, the new moon brings in the manifest. So it's the best time to pray. If you're a prayer, or if you like to just manifest things with just meditation or whatever it is that you do, this is the best time, middle of the month, guys. And we get back into that full moon energy, like I told you, late in September. This is the key for getting things out. I know we talked about it being early in the month, but it happens stronger for September late. In fact, it's the 29th. So the very last few days of September are incredibly strong for getting things out of your life. Something you got to sell, repurpose, finish up an old project, kick somebody out of your life, kick a bad habit. Doesn't matter what it is. That is full moon energy, guys. Use that to your benefit. And I also have a moon cycle cheat sheet that I always put on my website for you. It's there for free every single month. It's on my talking about page, stuff that I'm talking about. You can scroll down and see that moon cycle guide. It's a little visual aid just to help you understand how these energies move in and out. While you're there, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter as well. Give my newsletter people a couple great things every single year, usually in the terms of free readings, and also great promo codes. It's just one email that I send out every single month, so that is a no-brainer. Follow the Facebook page as well. That's for contests and giveaways, all kinds of great stuff on the channel. And before I let you go, I want to tell you about the brand new service on the website. It is called Pet Connect. By popular demand, people wanting to check in on their pets, see how they're doing. A little bit of profound stuff can be had in this way. I made this product very, very affordable. I want to make it super friendly so that anybody can check this out. I know I get asked all the time about pets. Are they in heaven? Can we check in on them? All this kind of stuff. Is it even possible? The short answer is yes. It is a complicated situation, but it can be done, and to the point where I've made a product to just deliver that service to my great clients. And that is available, scottsagent.com, launching on Labor Day, guys. Labor Day is the day for that. And when you see that launch on there will be a video that goes with it that talks all about it, shows you the ins and outs and how it works. So check that out as well. The gemstones in the shop are still buy one, get one with the free charm. Any gemstone purchase in the shop will come with a free charm as well as a free little bag. It's kind of like a buy one, get 3 items for free, and that is running through the end of the year, so that's worth checking out as well, guys. Let's get back to your reading. Okay, Libras, I am back with your story number 3, that love spread, the attachment card that they talk about first, to see if this is your story. They talk about theft, loss, or deceit. If you have been deceived, you lost somebody very, very close to you. Maybe recently, maybe a long time ago. If it still has a major attachment to you, it could be a long time ago. But for most people, this would be more recent. And the definition of recent really depends on how much it still affects you today, right here in your heart. So that's what they show first to attach it. Hey, is this my story or not? You're dealing with theft, loss, or deceitful people. It's all the same card. It's captivated by the same energy, guys. So that is what they bring up first to talk about. Now, this makes me feel more like my singles, or at least somebody who's going off on their own. Maybe you still have a family unit, but you're very much like either the alpha or you are in charge of like everything. Maybe you're a single mom raising 3 kids. You know, whatever it is, they show kind of being guided is one aspect of this, but the other aspect is being alone. Okay, so it's going to be one of 2 things in that story. We already attached to you first. So now when we get to here, I give you multiple definitions. I give you one. They talk about somebody being alone here. Other one is that you're being guided. So people are helping you, even if you're not alone. Maybe you're seeking marriage counseling. That would be being guided. You're being helped, right? So that would be the secondary card of what they're referring to here. And that's a good thing either way. I like they don't show any kind of deviation from it. And the back is turned to the deceit, which is huge, Libras, because you gotta be walking away from this deceit. You can't like let it affect your future just because it affected your past. Okay, very important. As you move forward, the next thing they show here is taking great pride into what you've built or what you're trying to build. It can also be a card that represents hobbies and interests, but I view it more as a building and a process. It's like you start with the foundation level and then you build up from there. And maybe it's because the deceitful beginning of this broke the whole thing down. Maybe it did. But here you are building it up again anyway. Next thing they show here is a card that we have energy that shifts in a big way here. Here's what happens. First, it shows you being left out in the cold. I'm assuming they're talking about the past. Maybe the recent past, maybe long ago, but what they show is a huge shift from being left out and abandoned. Maybe it's a card of bankruptcy. In a love spread, I don't view it less like that and just more being abandoned. They move from that into wealth, big money coming in, big authority over money, as well as health. This feels less like health to me. This feels more monetary to me. But taking great authority over this money. So it goes from like literally like rags to riches here. That's the story. And it ends in Lover's card. Lover's card, 2 people coming together, 2 entities coming together. In my card, it's pictured as a man and a woman, just like your typical romance novel would be. Doesn't mean that's a situation for you. You know, everybody's got a different take on what their ideal love situation is, but that's what they show. It's pretty picturesque right there. So it's going to end well, Libra. That's the good news. The bad news is, well, how long is this process going to take? And I cannot answer that question for you because it's a general reading. We have a lot of Libras tuning in here. So for everybody's walking a different path. Everybody has a different process to go through and so forth. But the last thing they're going to leave you with here, talking about in story 3 for your September, is the outdoors. So especially if you're here in story 3, that you got to get outdoors, guys. It is just almost a way to recharge for you. In the card specifically, it says go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature, relieve stress, and gain new creative ideas. So it is a way to recharge your batteries, to kind of start over on a fresh, clean mental slate, if nothing else. Maybe forget about some of the stuff and kind of heal from it. So getting outdoors is a big deal for you guys in September, and I would encourage you to do that as much as possible. So there we go. That is your main spread there with your love spread. Now we're going to get into some Rune Stone, and they're already shuffled up, but I'll give one more swirl. The Rune Stone I like to do while I'm looking at the cards. so I can attach it to that. And Rune Stone is available as a personal private product on scottsagent.com as well. If this is something that interests you, wait, what is my actual Rune Stone? Here we go. The Rune Stone for you, for Libra, for the sign, if I'm holding it correctly, is protection. So they're letting you know, regardless of what story you are here, what struggles you've been through to get to September 2023, that you are protected. You are protected and you are safe. Now let's go through it. Story 1, take back your power. Archangel Raziel. You are safe. You're protected. Okay? And that was the story all about the authority. Even if you decide, choosing not to choose is also a choice. It is the paradox of choice. Even if you say, hey, you know what, I'm just done with dating. I'm done with guys, for example. I'm just going to be done for a while. That's okay. Or just, you know what, I'm not going to choose. I'm not going to choose anybody. Well, that's a choice. So either way, they're saying you're good here with whatever you choose to do. That's the beauty of life, is that we all pave our own path. So you're protected there. Story 2, guys, protection is very much, I think you're protected by the lessons you have to keep going through. Okay, you've been through the ringer of these lessons enough times that you almost don't need the protection, but it's there in case you do. So they only talk about slow energy here, slowing things down, and with crystal clear intent too. And with number 3, protection here is just letting you know that that they got your back. They show you the way out. It's outdoors. They show you going from rags to riches. They show you the path is illustrated so perfectly and so gorgeously that they're giving you incentive. They're giving you incentive to get to that spot. So there we go. Good runestone to wrap up with. And now we're going to get into your chemistry tracking. Chemistry tracking, a new one that I do here. And I did all the card work beforehand. That basically saves us some time. So that's all done. So we basically are just discussing my notes here. And Libra, I always give them a way out in case Spirit doesn't want to talk about one or the other. They want to leave it blank because, hey, Libra's going to overanalyze this or take this the wrong way. But they gave you both, guys, so that's not the case. So, weak connection, Libras, weak connected to Aquarius. Aquarius is a weak connection coming from you in this month. So I wouldn't do anything like that if I was single and looking for somebody. I find out they're in Aquarius, maybe not. Maybe not a good choice for me. That's Spirit's way of telling you that. If you're married or you're coupled up, Aquarius could be somebody else in your life that you just have a disconnect with, maybe a quarrel with, or not seeing eye to eye. Who's to say? Now, your strong connection, Libra, is, interestingly enough, with your own type, with other Libras. Libra on Libra love is very strong in the month of September. Just something to keep in mind. Good relationships can be had in September. Good camaraderie and just good overall vibe with other Libras. So there we go with your chemistry tracking. And now we get into your extra spread, which is telling time. And I did use more than my 10 card limit, so I am going to reshuffle and I'll be right back. Okay, Libra, I am back and it is time for telling time. The cards have been reshuffled. I'm going to ritual cut it one final time. Into thirds it goes, back together in a separate order it goes. And telling time is done by rounds. It is also available as a personal private product on scottsagent.com if you have a when question that you would like answered. That is a great one for that, and it's helped a lot of people with a big punch of divination. So what I'm doing here, this is round 1, guys, in telling time. I'm basically going through the first round looking for my marker, which happens to be aces. And that pinpoints me to certain times of the year, whether they're upright, whether it's inverted. And in this case, we don't have an ace in round number 1. So what happens is now the intensity goes down a notch. So now this is, if a date comes now, it's important, but it's not so important that you cannot miss or that it's super finite tuned to a certain week. So now we go with round 2 here, looking for our mark. So far, still nothing. 2 cards left and nothing. So now we go to round 3. Now round 3 really backs this up, and it's Spirit's way of saying, hey, we just want you to pay attention to a month. So we're zoomed out. Now what month is this? Let's see if we get our mark this time. And if we do not, then we go backwards in time, which is another interesting thing that doesn't really happen very much, if ever, really. Very rare. And it's about to. We're only 3 cards away from it. 2. And we have hit backwards. So they want to tell you about something, or basically remind you about something from your past, recent past, something that you've been through maybe something that you have just conquered or whatever, basically to remind you, hey, you know what? This is what's important. And here's why. Actually, here, they're giving you 2 dates from the past. Dates just started coming out of nowhere. Actually, 3. Let's see if we get 4, just for fun. finish my round. No, we got 3 dates, guys. There are 3. I told you, it's a big reading. In a general reading, you never know what you're going to get. They gave you 3 dates to make sure somebody's getting this. Somebody's going to understand exactly what we're talking about. We're giving you 3 different possibilities in telling time. Now what I'm doing is I'm tacking on time to each card. Each card I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's adding time to the calendar that we already have. And then I'm going to do an extra card to talk about what this is about. That one, what this one's about, and what this one is about. And do the same thing for my Oracle Angel cards. Attach here. That one's about that. Over here, it's about that. And over here, finally, it's about this. So I'm going to do some math and calculate all this out. Get your dates for you. I'll be right back. Okay, Libras, I am back after much calculation. I don't know if I've ever had 3 dates in a telling time in a single round. And this was after they went blank on the first 3 rounds. So all of these dates are in your past. They want to remind you. So we're going to start at the most recent past and work our way back. So please pay attention. One of these is going to be about you. Almost guaranteed. Now the first one that we're doing here is they want you to remember mid to late July. This last year, July 2023, just a couple months ago here, they want you to remember mid to late July, something that happened that was socially very fun for you, whether it's partying, going out with your friends, something with a close friend of yours, a family member, the social fun camaraderie of it. Okay, that is huge. Now what they bring that up for is to talk about the divine order of things. They're basically saying everything is exactly how it's supposed to be right now, whether you see it or not. And they want you to see it. They really want you to kind of be on the same page with them here, to see the underlying order here. And they bring up that social fun moment or memory from July to bring that up. Now, when we move back to my other date, moving back a little bit further, now we're talking about early May. Early May, some of you they're showing have been getting over heartbreak since early May. Okay, if that sounds like you, what they're telling you to do here is to breathe. It's my breathe card. It says take several deep breaths. Exhale slowly to awaken your energy and release old patterns. I pay the most attention to releasing old patterns, guys. It's what you got to do. It's what we talked about in story 3 with the cycles and learning from your lessons. And you know what? Healing is a process. It takes some people do it very quickly and are good at it. Other people it takes almost a lifetime to. So this is what they're telling you to do. They're telling you how to do it or what you need to do. You need to just breathe. You just need to be, and you need to let yourself heal through the process that you need to do. Okay, so getting over heartbreak, they want to talk about for your early May. And my last date is November. So this is like last Thanksgiving-ish time because I'm mid to late November. So around mid to late November, their Thanksgiving-ish era, they want to talk about the money that didn't happen. There was something that was supposed to happen with money that was either blocked, it didn't happen the way it was supposed to, maybe you were supposed to get the new thing, maybe a new house, maybe a new car. There's something that just didn't work out around that time, kind of before the Christmas month there. So what is that? And why is that relevant to you? You're going to have to bring meaning to that one because I'm not sure, but they're basically trying to show you why it didn't work, maybe for something else in your future. Maybe something has already replaced it and they're just telling you, hey, remember this? This was like a gift in disguise that this never worked out in that way. So there we go. There's the 3 dates for telling time. It was a big one. Thank you so much for sticking with. Now let's get into your next thing, which is what we're going to conclude your reading with. And this is your spiritual perspective, a little thing that I call homily. Okay, guys, it is time for your homily, September 2023. The very first homily ever is being recorded right now. You are a part of history, guys. So the topic that I want to talk to you about today is a realization that I had at a water park last month, of all places. That's what kind of inspired me to tell you this story and kind of make this part of your extended reading. And I took my daughter on a small mini vacation to South Florida. That's kind of where this whole thing started. Went to a water park. It was very small, but very nice, very pleasurable. It had a little kids section, a couple larger slides for more of the adults. The kids love that too. And a lazy river, which of course everybody likes. And you know what a lazy river is more than likely. And if you don't, it's just a small little stream that current pushes you around, mostly in inner tubes. So this is where my story takes place that I wanted to share with you guys. I was going down the lazy river and it was a small course. It maybe took you about 10-15 minutes to go around the whole thing. And they had some good water squirts that would happen. You know, sometimes it was like a waterfall where you just got penetrated by water, just that was like free falling. Other times it was pressurized, like more of like a squirt gun and like a spray, and just different kind of textures and varieties that you'd pass through and go under. And it was very nice. And I'd been through it a couple times, and my good friend took my daughter to go on the big slide. She wanted to go on the big slide, so I was in the lazy river by myself, and I'd already been around the course a couple times by this point, so I knew the course pretty well, at least I thought I did. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try something a little different here. I'm sitting on this inner tube, going down a nice little current in a course. I decided to close my eyes and see what changed when I did so. Now, everything changed. First of all, your senses heighten. When you're looking like this, you're blindfolded, your hearing, especially there, hearing was what's heightened the most for me. I was hearing that water coming way ahead of time, and I was apprehensive. I didn't know when it was coming. I just knew that it was. And I didn't know if I was going to be pushed into it or if I was going to be pushed around it, because there's kind of different ways you could go. And it just changes things when you don't see it. When you cannot see what's coming, it changes the way that your body reacts to it. It's just almost like a chemical reaction. You don't have a choice in the matter. It's just the way that it is. And it wasn't scary, but I could see for some people that it could be. And the only reason it wasn't scary is because I knew I was safe. If I was doing that like in an actual river, I would be a little scared, because I'd be wondering if that noise I'm hearing is actually like a waterfall or like a pretty big drop, or something dangerous was gonna happen to me. Of course, it was a controlled environment, so it wasn't scary, but you still had the stress. You still had the apprehension and the nerves very heightened. So the realization that I ended up having, basically the moral of this whole story, is that it reminded me of people who do not seek any kind of spiritual progress with their daily path, their daily lives, tarot readings, a little bit of divination and forecasting, because that's what it does. It allows you to open your eyes to see the things that are coming. Most people are just driving blind. They're going through their entire lives like this. What I do, the ability to forecast and share my divination with you in this way, and with my personal private readings especially, you can look into all that stuff. You can see the things that are coming. You can plan and prepare a little bit for things. So it's not so scary. You don't have to be apprehensive about things. It gives you a calm, just knowing when things are coming and how you can align certain things to these occurrences that are in some ways going to come regardless. Sometimes you go around it. Sometimes you go through it. So that is your homily for September 23. Thank you so much for tuning into the readings. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have delivering it to you. I hope you have a great September. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.